Friends, Dan Prozowski here from MuscleBuilderRx.com, and I got a lot of emails this week about with tons of questions on training and eating and everything else. And some of them are people who ask a lot of questions all the time, which is fine with me. But what I want to talk about right here is how you can make a lot of improvement really quickly without so many questions. Okay, so I wrote down some key topics or key points I want to make with somebody who's either trying to gain a lot of muscle, get lean, get fit, get toned, whatever it is. So one of the first things you have to remember, though, is that the person has to train hard, heavy, and as often as possible. Okay, so hard means good intensity. In my Muscle Builder RX, I break down what intensity is, so you can see that in there. They have to train hard. They have to train often. And what I mean by often is they've got to get in there as many times a week as they can. And that's subject to how their body is recuperating or not recuperating. If you're not doing things correctly, it's going to be hard to get in there twice a week because you won't feel like being in there. And so you can't do it. So that'll bring me to my second point that about nutrition. Nutrition's king in this case. You're not going to be in the gym back in there in a day or 2 or 3 days if you're not eating good, because the body is not getting the nutrients it needs to recuperate, and then on top of that rebuild so that you could get back in there. Okay. Another thing, you've got to have goals. Without a goal set, you lose vision. You don't know where you're going. So you're just going into the train, but it's usually haphazard training is what that amounts to. Next, just as important, are realistic goals. Okay. Don't fall into some of the hype and the junk you see out there on the internet or on TV or all that stuff. Okay, have a reasonable goal that you can attain. Okay, don't say you're going to be Mr. Olympia if you don't even have a body that'll make it to a state championship. Just throwing that out there. Okay, be realistic with what you can and can't do. On top of that, okay, so if I'm going on top of that, you've got to think about it all the time. Have it in the back of your mind what you're trying to do. It should always be the underlying thing. That way it's easier to stay set with your goals. Biggest problem I'm seeing here coming with everybody is they overthink everything. They can have the best training program that there is and even the best diet, but literally 2 weeks into it, they're overthinking it. Well, I read this somewhere and I read somebody else does this somewhere. Hey, don't worry about what everybody else is doing. Stick with the program, training, reading, whatever you're doing, and give it a minimum of 8 weeks. 6 weeks will tell you if you're doing anything right or not. Give it 8 weeks. If it's working, go for as long as it'll work for, okay? This is really, really key. Don't overthink it. Another thing you need is proper supplementation. You know, I'm not big on supplements. I have my own line. I sell them because they do need it, especially if you're busy. Helps you get in the extra protein and carbs and things that you need. But again, everybody's out there looking for the wonder drug or supplement, and you're not doing that. All you're trying to do, train hard, train heavy, break the muscle tissue down, get it to recuperate, and then get it to build stronger than what it was before. So all you want is proper nutrition in order to do that. There's no fancy schmancy stuff for that. It's just good, sound products. Not stuff that's hyped up with a bunch of ephedrine and caffeine and that. Just basic good nutrients that'll help build that muscle tissue back up. Anyway, I've got a new book, free one, coming out on MuscleBuilderRx.com on the website. I'm not sure how quick I'll have it up there, but within a couple weeks, go on there. I've got a new book coming up on MuscleBuilderRx.com. Check it out. Again, you have questions, just email me at mrmichigan@bex.net. And keep training hard, heavy, and think positive, and have a Power Health Day.